So here you can see what we have. The website. Can you please turn off your microphone because I can hear some background noise. To apply for your study permit, this is the website. You can see it here, migrationsveket.se. So of course you can easily search that on Google if you don't get it correctly. So when you input the website into your browser, the home page looks pretty like what you are seeing now on the screen. So once it opens here, of course, the website is in Swedish. So it is your duty to, change it to English from your browser. So this is easier done using Google Chrome. So I suggest you use Google Chrome when applying. So once translated to English, it will be easier for you to understand. So you then scroll down. So here you see many menus. You see here, apply for, extend permit, and so on. So because you are a first-time applicant, you have to select here, apply for. So when you click on this, then you see a drop-down menu. Then the first one there, permit to work. This is for those applying for work permit. So, but since our major concern is to apply for study permit, so we have to choose this, permission to study. So when you click on permission to study, it opens. So you see here, if you want to study in Sweden, of course, just like any other country, you can have your polytechnics, high school, university. Then under university, you can also have undergraduate, that is bachelor's. You can have master's, you can have PhD, and so on and so forth. So you have to choose the one, that is true in your own case. You want to study master's in Sweden. So here you see higher education, and this is our interest. So we choose higher education. So when you choose higher education, then you will also have some other drop down. You see the menu here, residence permit for higher education, extend permits for higher education. So extension is for those that already have a permit. But in your own case, this is just your first application. So you don't choose extend permits. Rather, you go for residence permit for higher education. Okay, so here we are, residence permit for studies at higher education. So and you see the explanation here. If you are going to study at a university, college, polytechnic, whatever, so you see the explanation. But then just before you begin, there are documents you need to have handy. So you need to already have a scanned copy of them, and these are the requirements we are talking about. So first of all, you need to have a valid international passport. So not just that you have it, but you need to have a scanned copy of it, because you are required to upload this along the line. And it is usually not good for you to submit an incomplete application, because then it might affect the processing time for your permit. So you need to have a scanned copy of all the documents required, so that once you get to that stage, you upload them straight away without having to come back next time to do that, even though it is possible to upload them later. Then the next thing, you need to have been admitted to full-time studies in a program. Of course, April 7th, you all had your admissions. So on UA website, when you log into your profile, there is a place you can download your admission in PDF format. You need to download that admission decision because you also need to upload it along the line. Then here, you need to be able to support yourself during the time for which you are applying for a residence permit. So for those self-funding, this is where proof of fund comes in. For those that want the SI scholarship, what you will use to show for this is your SI scholarship offer letter, because this offer letter explains how much you will be getting from SI every month. So which shows that you can take care of yourself during that period they will give you permit. So have paid any tuition fees before submitting applications. So for those self-funding, before you apply, make sure you have already paid your first installment, and your university would have acknowledged the receipt of this first installment. But for those that want SI scholarship, you don't need this as well, because your scholarship also covers the tuition fee, which is also shown on the scholarship offer letter. So for those that want SI scholarship, these 2 points are not for you. Then the last thing, you need to have applied for a comprehensive health insurance. This does not also work for SI scholars, because if you have gone through your offer letter, there is a page with health insurance. Kamakolio Get, that's the health insurance company that SI uses. So already as an SI scholar, you are insured. So you see that for you, SI has already taken care of these 3. Then for the self-funding students, you need to ask your university, because most of the universities insure their students as well, which means that even if you are self-funding, you might not have the need to get a health insurance. For example, Dalana University here, where I study, they insured all their students. Once you are a student of Dalana University, you are insured. You don't need to buy another. Please mute your microphone. You don't need to buy another insurance cover. So you need to find this out from your school as well to know if it is same for your school. But I believe it should be same for all the schools here. So all those things we talked about here, this is just a kind of an extended form of it. So they explained this in detail here. So you see copies of your passport showing your personal information, signature, all those things. Then admission letter from the organizer. So about all this. So they only extended it so that you understand fully well what they mean by this. So I will urge you to take your time to also read it up to have some understanding. So you see here, some people will be coming with their family. Some people will be coming alone. If you will be coming with your family, this contains the information you need to know in order to apply also for your accompanying family members. So you see here, if your family is also applying for the residence permit. So if we click here, we see the information. So what you also need to fulfill for your family to be able to join you in your applications. So here, if your family accompanies you to Sweden, you can apply for a permit for them at the same time in your web application. Your family can also apply for a permit at a later time. They can apply later, you can add them in your application so that they process your applications together. So, but then there are things you need to meet to do this. Your family must also send in the application copies of the pages in your family members' passports. So maybe you are coming with your wife and 2 kids, for example. You also need to have the scanned copy of your spouse's international passport and that of your kids. So depending on the number, their number. So you have to have the international passports for all of them. So if you are coming with your family, you know that the SI scholarship is only for you and not for any of your family members. That simply means that for the proof of fund, you have to be able to show that you can take care of your family, the accompanying family members here in Sweden. So alongside your SI scholarship offer letter, or alongside your own personal proof of fund, you should also make sure that your proof of fund covers for your spouse and your accompanying children. So for your spouse, because your spouse is an adult and it is expected you all will live in the same apartment. So for your spouse, this is what you need to budget every month. So you have to add this up for 1 year that the permit will cover. Then I said some time ago that there are some universities offering that are under the so-called pilot program. So of course I have explained what this means over and over again. So what it simply means, let me just summarize quickly. The migration agency, they are investigating the possibility of awarding straight 2 years permit to students that will be studying for 2 years instead of the usual 1 year at a time. So they want to test this out using 5 universities located in the center, south, north, you know, covering the whole geopolitical zones in Sweden. So what they want to do is, this is just like a case study. So if it works, they will then extend it to other universities. So these 5 universities are regarded as the pilot universities. So if your admission is into these pilot universities and you will be studying 2 years course, then know that you will be given straight 2 years permit. That means your residence permit, your proof of fund will have to cover for 2 years straight and not 1 year. So I believe you get the gist now. So that means if you are studying in a university, like I think Umeå is one of them, I think Linus University is also there. So there are 3 other ones that I can't remember now. So if you are going to these universities, you have to, just in case you don't know whether your university is part of the pilot program, you can just use Google, search on Google, pilot universities in Sweden, or universities under the pilot program in Sweden. So you will see all of them. If your university is there, then that will give you a head on to know what to do, you know, when it comes to the proof of fund. So, but now for the purpose of this video, I will assume that your university is not part of the pilot program. So that simply means you will be getting 1 year permit at a time. So you will have to multiply this by 12 for your wife. Then you have to multiply this by 12 also per child. So that means if you have 2 kids, for example, so it will be this multiplied by 2 because you have 2 kids, then multiply by 12 for 1 year. If you have 3 kids, it will be this amount multiplied by 3, then multiply by 12. and so on and so forth. Then you also need to submit your marriage certificate. So please, if you join, just mute yourself. Not to.
This week, yeah, big no.
Okay, sorry for that. Then you also need to have a copy of your marriage certificate for married couples. So you see here, applies to married couples and registered partners. Then if you are not married, maybe cohabiting partners, then you don't need a marriage certificate. Rather, you submit a different document. You can see it here. Documents that show that you have lived together. For example, a population registration certificate, joint rental contract, or joint proof of purchase for housing applies to cohabitants, you can see. So for married partners, this is what you need to submit. For cohabitants, you choose any of the documents listed here. So that's what you will use to show that you have been living together for some time. Then for your kids, you need the birth certificates for your children, and the names of the parents should appear there, such that you don't just bring random kids and claim that they are your children. So this one now, consent from the other guardian for children under the age of 18, if the other guardian does not accompany you to Sweden. So what this means is maybe you are the woman, you are going with the children alone. Your husband will not be going with you people at the same time. So your husband should consent that yes, he is aware and he supports that you go with the children. So there should be a written consent, from the other parents or guardian if all of you are not going at the same time. But if all of you are going at the same time, this is not needed. Then adoption documents, if the child has been adopted, of course, we know what that one means. So after making sure you have gathered all these documents and scanned them into your system, then you proceed to this point, the e-service for students in higher education. So you click on apply. So here you see e-identification, mobile bank ID, bank ID. Of course, you cannot use this. You can neither use this nor this. These are for people already in Sweden who already has their personnummer and have their personnummer and also bank ID. So, but for you, that is just coming for the first time, you are applying for the first time, what you need to select is this account. So username and password. When you click on it, what will happen is that, so this is for me because I already have an account, but for you, you just click on create new account. So when you click on create new account, you fill in the form. Let's click on it and see how the form looks. So you see here, account information, you put in your email, you choose your password. Then you select this and then click next. So you follow the prompt and fill accordingly. I believe at a point it will ask you about your phone number, your address, all those things. Just make sure you fill in all the details. I might not be able to create another account because I already have an existing account with them. So, but at least with this, you know what to do. So whatever it asks you, you put it there. Your address, you put in your address. So if you already have a housing in Sweden, maybe you have already gotten an apartment in Sweden, then you can choose it. You can write it under the address section. But if you haven't gotten an apartment in Sweden, you can write your address in your home country. So, and so on and so forth. So let's go back. Now, log in. So I might not be able to log in using this email and password. The reason is that the phone number I used when I was applying was the phone number I was using in my home country, which is no more functional here because they will send me a one-time password, as you can see from here. So they will send this into my phone. I will input those 6 digits and then I will be able to log in. So this is to ensure that I am the one logging in and not someone else. So, but because the number is no more functioning for now, I cannot get these 6 digits for me to log in with. So, but in your own case, of course, it will readily come. So once it comes, you just add the 6 digits here and click on log in with account, and then it will take you into your profile. So you fill in the form. So, but what I will do now for you to see how the form looks like is I will log in using my mobile bank ID. So since I already have a mobile bank ID here, I can log in using my mobile bank ID and it will still take me to my dashboard. So you see here, this is my profile. You see log out because I've already logged in. Then type of application, first permit. So this will also show for you when you log in. It will ask you the type of your application. Is it extension of permit? Like in my own case, it should be an extension, but in your own case, you will have to select first permit. So when you select first permit and click next, then you start filling the form. You see here, applicant / personal information, your surname, that's your, of course, this is English and I believe you know what to write there. So you just fill in this form as correct as possible. So personal identity number, of course, you see is optional because you don't already have it. You are not in Sweden yet, so you don't have it. So you can leave this one blank. Then your marital status. So when you fill in all those things, you click on next. So I might not be able to move forward. You can see here, I must fill in all this for me to be able to move forward. So, but then it is easy to follow. Once you fill all those things and then click next, it should be able to take you to the next page. But there is something I did during my own time. What I did, there is an online form that you can download in PDF format. So it contains all the information you will fill online here. So what I did during my own time was to download that form, print it out, and then fill it manually with pen. So before coming online. So what I did when I logged online was just to transfer what I have already filled on that form into the online form. That was what I did. So that way it becomes very easy for you when filling the form. Then I must tell you, there is a place you will likely have some problems, and that is the motivation section, because at a point they will ask you also to write a kind of motivational letter, why you want to study in Sweden. So avoid using special characters like apostrophe, you get. So you can use comma and full stop, but apart from comma and full stop, avoid using any other special character. If you do, you will not be able to submit the form. So many people that have already submitted their form had issues. They couldn't submit it. They had to, ask me that why am I not able to submit my form? So I just said, okay, can you screenshot? After that, I saw a place where the person used the apostrophe. I told him or her that, yeah, that's the problem. Remove the apostrophe. Don't use any special character. So he did that. And after that, the form was submitted successfully. So please avoid using special characters other than comma and full stop. Otherwise, your form will not be able to submit. So I think here I will try to locate the form so that you can easily download it and have them filled out manually before coming in, logging into the online version to complete your application. Sorry, I think I've already entered. Okay. Okay, let's see. So this is it. If you need to download the form, you check here if you do not apply on the web. So you need to complete this. So application for a residence permit for students, first time application, this application for a residence permit for family. So not this, this is what you need. You just click here to download the form in PDF format, then print it and fill it. That's all. So you see the form here, but then I think unfortunately this one is written in Swedish, but there should be an English version. Let's see if we can get the English version of it. There is no link for the English version for now. Maybe I will need to take time and search for it because it's there. During my own time, what I downloaded was the English version. Okay, let me see, because I think I've downloaded that before now. So if I can see it. Okay, maybe I will search for it. If you need the English version, you might need to contact me personally so I can look for, I will take my time to look for it and then forward to you. So, but if you download this form, you just need to fill it. So, and then when you want to fill the online version, you only need to transfer the information already filled here into the online form. That's all. That way it will be easier for you.